Hi friends, good evening to all of you. Started. Hello friends, good evening to all of you. Welcome to JDC India YouTube live classes. So get connected fastly, all of you. Okay. So all of you just get connected fastly, share the link and all of those things so that others can get connected. Guys, so today what we are going to discuss about is yesterday what we were discussing is instance as well as the static variables. These two things we have discussed yesterday, and out of that now here is the part 2 of the instance as well as the static variable, what yesterday I was discussing in that. Fine. So if you are having any questions from the last classes, please you can ask if any kind of questions is there from the last classes related to the instance and static variable and all other sort of things. If any kind of question, any doubt is there, you can please ask. No questions? Well, now here what we have to now understand next in this side this. So yesterday two things, yesterday what we have seen is like about the static variables we have already discussed. How the static variables of a class, hello Ramchandra. So we have discussed how static variable of a class is being accessed outside the class and what was the different way to load the class, how a class is being loaded, what all the different techniques which we were adopting in order to access the static variable of a class, that we have seen it, right? Now correspondingly, so let's write here something which I am writing here is the, suppose let's say I'll write here the class, I am writing the class again. The name of the class which I have written is the hello, and inside this class we are declaring some variables. The one variable int a is equal to 10 I have declared, and at the same time now int static int of b is equal to 20 you are declaring. Yesterday we were talking about this only. These two are the variables what we have discussed. A is equal to 10 as well as the b is equal to 20 we were writing inside this, and we were talking about these two variables specifically inside this case. Fine. Now here we have seen two things. What we have seen? Two things we have seen. One is that like how memory for the static variable is being allocated, and when exactly memory is being allocated for the static variable. Is it okay? When exactly memory is being allocated for the static variable, that we have seen yesterday. Fine. Now we need to understand, also we have seen the when exactly a class is going to be loaded into the main memory and how many times a class is going to be loaded into the main memory. Fine. That we have already discussed, that we have already seen it. Now here, now my question next is when exactly memory which is there will be allocated for the, when exactly memory will be allocated for the instance variable of a class, instance variable of a class, when exactly memory is going to be allocated for this. The first question is this: when memory will be allocated for the instance variables of a class. Is it okay? At the same time now, first one is this: when memory will be allocated for the instance variable of a class, and second one is here, what will happen when you are going to create the object of a class? What will happen what will happen at object creation time. This is two things which we need to now understand, and in this itself you will get the answer of like when memory is being allocated for the instance variable of a class and when memory will be allocated, basically memory for the instance variable of a class. So remember one point, memory for the instance variable of a class will be allocated at the time of object creation. What is that? Once again I am repeating, memory for the instance variable of a class will be allocated at the time of object creation. Note it down, memory for the instance variables will be allocated at the time of object creation. Now, if the number of times you are creating the object of a class, that many number of times memory will be allocated. Once again I am repeating it. First, memory for the instance variables will be allocated when you are creating the object of a class. Well, at the same time now, number of times, as many times you are creating the object of a class, that time memory will be allocated for the instance variables of a class. And as the number of times you create the object, that many number of times again memory is going to be allocated for the instance variable of a class. Fine it is. So here you see one thing, that here first, if I am writing here, see, once again have a look. Hello Neeraj, Sonal, Ruchi, Diksha, Mani, Kunal. Here now inside this, I am creating the object of a class. What I am going to do now? Creating the object of a class first. Hello h1 is equal to new hello I am creating here. This is one object creation which I am doing here. On object I have created hello h1 is equal to new hello. Is it fine now? Well, so what will happen when you are creating this particular object? Whenever you are creating this particular object, what all things are going to happen? What will happen in this case first? See, at the time whenever you are creating any object of a class, whenever you are creating any of the object of the particular class, like this class is there, hello class is there. For this class, what you are doing? You are creating the what object you are creating? You are creating what? One object you are creating. So the question is, what will I, and this is again important interview questions. And see, I'm taking now these classes in synchronization with the APTITUDE classes also, because as I have told here, this is the target MNC batch for the freshers, those who are the fresher. So all the sort of interview questions, basically like whatever is required in the case of Java, what is required in the case of aptitude, so that aptitude classes is also going on. That is evening 6 o'clock to 7:30 it is, right? And this class is there from the 9 to 10 it is, fine. So these all things, these all points what I'm discussing here is very, very important for your interview prospects also. In your interviews also this is going to be asked. Sometimes this will be a very important question for your interview also. So kindly just have a look on this and concentrate on these all things here, whatever as such I am explaining here, fine. So in this now, first, as I have created the object of a class hello h1 is equal to something called as the new hello I am writing. Hello h1 is equal to new hello I have written. So what will happen whenever we are creating any of the object of a class? What all sort of things are going to happen? First, it will check. What it is going to check? It will check whether the particular class, the very first task, and here I'll write it here. Here I am writing, what is that I am going to write now? I am writing here, what is that? I'll write it here. It will check first, checks first this class. Which class? Hello class. Whichever class object you are creating, that particular class checks first that class hello, this class hello is loaded into main memory or not? Memory or not? Understand your point first. Whenever we are creating the object of this class, it will check whether that class, particular class, which class, that corresponding hello class has been loaded into main memory or not. That is one important thing, whether this class hello has been loaded into the main memory or not. Fine? Okay. So see, if it's not been loaded, then yesterday as such I have discussed, first it will load the class. That already we have discussed. What all things it is going to do at the time of loading the class? That is again an important question, and that again you can just have a look from the previous one. What all things it is going to do at the time of loading that particular class, particular thing, what all other things it is going to do at the time of loading the class. But again, now when it is going to create the object of a class, so whenever as such it is creating the object of a class, following things will be done internally. So say here, at the time of object creation, following things are going to be done first. First one, what it will do now here, just have a look. Allocates the memory for instance variable of class, if any instance variable whatever you have. So here is the instance variable is A. This is your instance variable. So for this instance variable A, it is going to allocate the memory. When it is going to allocate the memory? At the time of object creation, it allocates the memory for this. First it is allocating the memory for this. Second point here, it processes the instance blocks. It is processing the instance block. Now, did you understand it? And see, there are again number of tasks which it is going to do at the time of creating the object of a class. The number of things internally it is going to do at the time of object creation. Did you got my point? Any questions here now? If you are having any questions, any doubt, you can please ask, right? So what is that first one? What is going to happen at the time of object creation? So whenever you create any object, first it checks whether that corresponding class has been loaded into the main memory or not. If that class has already been loaded into the main memory, are you getting it? If that class is already loaded into the main memory, then it is not going to load that class again into the main memory, but then after, first it allocates the memory for instance variables of a class, and then instance block of a classes are being processed here. This is two important things at this point. It is required for you to understand it here, right? It is. So just reply me in the chat box if any questions on the basis of this one, on this one, memory allocation for the instance variable and all, like how memory is being allocated for the instance variable, static variable. I'll write just now the programs based on the instance variable as well as the static variable, but based on this, if you have any questions, you can please ask it. Current box. Okay. No questions? Fine. So we'll do one thing here now. I'll write one example for you to understand how the things are working into this, how things are working for the instance variable as well as the static variable, that I need to understand here, right? So okay, let's have a look. Switch karte na. Let's have a look. Here you see that. Say for example, here in this, I have written something. Just a second. Are you able to see the screen now? Okay. So inside this one, here, well, hope you are able to see all of you. So I'll now open this. One second. Here now I am writing some examples on the basis of this one. Let me write here. I'll write it here. I am writing here. This is one example for this instance as well as the static variable. Well, hope it is visible clearly to all of you what I am writing and how things are working inside this. Well, so here in this, I wanted to write a class. Here one class as I have written here, the one class which I am writing inside this. Inside this class, A is equal to, let's say 10 I am writing, int of B is equal to 20, I'll write it here, and this one here I'll make it as in static. What I am doing here, the static I have written here, fine. So I have written here int A is equal to 10. Well, parallelly what I am writing, static int B is equal to 20. These two things as such I have written here, fine. Now, in this class itself, I am writing one more thing here, which is system, or else first do one thing. I am not writing this anything else other than this class here. One more class I am writing JTC, and we can just specify some name of this class, that is JTC 9 I have given, that is the name of the class. Are you getting it? So two names as I have given, one class hello I have given, int A is equal to 10, at the same time now int of B is equal to 20 I am giving, and well, inside this now static void of main. Inside this class now, I'll write few more things here. Just have a look now. In this itself, see here, we have the static variables also and we have the instance variable also. Both of the things as such I am having inside this class. The concepts what we have discussed yesterday in the day 1 of the instance variable as well as the static variable, the same thing I am just concluding here, and I am writing examples related to that also. So well, here inside this one, I'll write few more things inside this. What is that few more things I am going to write now? Here in this first, see, a static variable of a class. The static variable of a class can be accessed in many different ways, and that is what I am trying to do here. So well, I'll write here system.out.println, and inside this the first technique what I am adopting to access the static variable of a class, that is the hello dot, I am writing here the B, hello dot B as I am writing inside this. Is it okay? And second one here now, okay, and one more thing I am writing here, the hello dot A also. A is here an instance variable, A whatever as such I have written here is the instance variable, JTC 9 dot Java well I am writing, and I am saving it here. So the A is an instance variable, and we are trying to access this instance variable with the name of class. We are trying to access this instance variable with the name of class, which we cannot do it here. We cannot write it here. We cannot write it here. See that it's not okay. We cannot write or we cannot access the instance variables of a class with the name of class. Fine. Definitely for this particular one, it is going to give the error. there is some error we are going to get here. Are you people are understanding everything or not? If any questions you are getting in between, you can please comment in the comment box. You can write it in the comment box. Here you see that now. Well, I am writing here something. Inside this now, I'll write here E drive something called as the something here inside this. So we are getting it into the this. So I just entered into that corresponding location in the corresponding file, and then here, well, I'll write Java C JTC 9 dot Java I am writing here. Fine. JTC 9 dot Java I am writing. Fine. Well, I have done this compilation, and when I am compiling it, it is giving one basic error here. A non-static variable. What is that non-static variable? A cannot be referenced from a static C. Whenever you are learning any kind of programming languages, whenever you are learning, it is important for you to understand each error descriptions whatever you are getting here. Fine. So anyways, I'll be elaborating each one of them one by one. Okay. So this is cannot be referenced from a static context, that is hello dot a something I am writing here, and okay, instance member of a class we are not able to access. But at the same time now, understand one more thing here. What is that now? So let me comment this. I have commented this line. Okay. Immediately after the comment of this line, now again I am trying to compile this program. What well I am trying to do now? Compile the program, and you'll see the output now. Hello JTC something called as the 9. We have got the output. It's a 20. So from here, what you have got? The one thing what you have understand here, that the static variable of a class, we can access it directly by the name of class. That is one thing. The static variable of a class can be accessed with the name of class here. Is it fine? Well, now the second way. So this was the, you can say here, first way to use the or to call the static member of a class. Fine. This is first way to call the static member of a class. Hello Swati. Again, inside this case here, I am writing the another thing also. What is that another thing I am writing here now? The second way is what? We can access this with the help of, hello, let's say I am writing h1 is equal to, well, I am writing null here. Hello h1 is equal to null I am writing. See guys, this is very important concept for you if you are learning Java properly. If you are trying to learn Java, if you are learning all these things. So in order to learn all these sort of things, this is very important one. Okay. So h1 is equal to null, well, I have written. After immediately writing this here now, print ln. Inside this now, h1 dot, well, I am writing a. See, if I have written h1 dot a, will I be able to access it? Guys, can you please comment in the comment box? Can I access it or not? See here. Will I be able to access this a with the reference variable which contains null? If you will see it here categorically or specifically, we are trying to understand then here what is happening inside this. Let me see here output here and see at the time of compilation it is not giving any error. At the time of compilation it is not giving any error, but at the same time here now JTC 9, so we got some output here. See 20 it is coming, but again with this itself here it is giving one more error message. The error message is what? Null pointer exception. When you are going to get null pointer exception, that also you should remember here, that also you should understand. always and always you are going to get the null pointer exception in the case when you are going to get in the case when the corresponding resource is not available. Corresponding resource is not available, then only you are going to get the null pointer exception. If that corresponding resource is not available, so we must be getting the null pointer exception, and that's what we are getting here. So okay, so one more thing is that instance variable of a class cannot be accessed with the reference variable h1 which contains somewhere null. Is it fine now for everyone? Okay. Now again in the next form or in the next way here, in the next stage what I will be doing inside this println, and well here I am trying to write println h1 dot, what is that I am going to write here? Now let's say b I am writing here. B is the static variable of a class. The b, whatever as I am having, is the static variable somewhere, and since it is the static variable, so let me compile it, and immediately after compilation here we are getting some output here, so that is 20 and 20. So what we have got one point and one very clear thing here, the clearly what we have understand is the h1 dot b we are getting here, h1 dot b we are getting it inside this, fine. And once you are getting h1 dot b, so what is happening here? B is the static variable of a class, and that can be accessed with the reference variable which contains null, fine. So this we can do it here, and that we can access it here. There is again no issues at all with this here. So till this point, is it clear now? Okay. So here parallelly you have seen one more thing also. The one more thing what you have seen, and just now you will get more clear idea that in order to access any of the instance members of a class, or sorry, static member of a class. So static member of a class can be accessed in a different ways, in a different manners, whereas instance member of a class can be accessed in only one way. And now you see, I am adopting here the third technique, which is h3, or let's say I am writing h2 is equal to something new of hello I have written, fine. Can I write it? So I am writing hello h2 is equal to new hello I am doing here. Well, and after doing this new hello inside this, I am just trying to get some output of this here. So well, inside this system dot out dot println, inside this case h2 dot, which one I am trying to access? B I am trying to access here, fine. I have accessed here the B, and whenever we are accessing this B, let me see here first. Compilation is done. See, 3 times a same variable we have accessed, and in a different technique, in the different forms we have accessed it here. Got my point? Well, at the same time now, but yes, a instance variable of a class. Which is the instance variable of a class? The A what we have is the instance variable of a class. So this particular instance variable of a class can be accessed with, and only it can be accessed with the reference variable which contains corresponding class object reference. So well, here I am writing println inside this now h2 dot, what is that I am going to access? It's an A I am accessing here, and see whether we are able to access the A or not inside this. So well, I am writing compilation. I've just done the compilation, and immediately after the compilation we have got the output also. So here we have got some output, what output we were expecting here, 10 we have got it here inside this. Is that okay now? So now, do you have any questions on the basis of these two things? If you have, you can again comment in the chat box. Now next one again, question, there are again the number of questions is coming into the picture. Question what is going to come into the picture here is, see, first thing is, from here we are able to access, what we are able to access? Static members of a class in a different ways, as well as instance member of a class can be accessed only in one specific way. Instance member of a class can be accessed in one way itself, and that is by creating the object of a class we can access. If we are not creating any object of a class, we won't be able to access it. Hope it is clear to you all. Fine. Now, my question to you here is, why can't we access instance variable of a class with the class name or with the reference variable which contains null? Why can't we access it? Can you please reply me in the comment box for this question? Guys, please. Are you there, all of you? See, we have certain questions, or if you have any questions, you may please ask. But if you are not asking any questions, then I have certain questions on the basis of this here. What is that questions we have on the basis of that? What kind of questions we have? The question number 1 is, why I am not able to access instance member of a class in these two ways, with name of a class, first one, and second one is with the reference variable, Why we are not able to access either with the name of class or with the reference variable? Which one? Cannot access the, what we cannot access? Cannot access the instance member of a class. Instance member of a class. Why we cannot access? That is one question for you. That is one question. Now I'll give you one hint in this for you to understand and to make it more clear. We have two concepts again here. If you will, just this is homework for you. The number 1 as well as the number 2. These two concepts as such we are having. The concept number 1 is what? Concept number 1 is the early binding, and late binding. These two are the very important concepts. For that, this is for homework for you, and you should go for that. What is the early binding and what is the late binding again? I'll be coming again later on. I'll explain out also. Meanwhile, you should also do some self-study for that, right? It is. Hi. So you should do some self-study for this. So we will again discuss about all that here. Okay, now next question here is, what is that next question? That how many times, again, a question is, how many times how many times class can be loaded? How many times a class which is there can be loaded? How many times we can load a class into the main memory? Can you please reply me in the comment box? How many times a class can be loaded into the main memory? Yes. What happened? All of you are sleeping there or there? Only once a class can be loaded into the main memory. For this now, so let's understand this with the help of some program, that how we are going to load the class into the main memory and how it is being loaded into the main memory. So let's have a look. In this now, first, when I am writing I am going to write now? I am writing something inside this. Here, let me write something here. What is that I am writing now? I'll write a class called as something hello. Well, I am writing, and inside this class int a is equal to 10, static int b is equal to 20. It's a very simple examples I am taking, not with that means not no any here. One more blocks I am taking here. What is the name of the block here now? System dot out dot println, which is ib in instance block in class called as the hello, and at the same time now I am just copying it and I'll paste it out here. So here inside this now it is giving SB in hello. These two things we have written here. The very first beginning things we are seeing here. One is the instance block and here is the static block. Well, I have written it. One instance block. See, these all small codes and snippets whatever I am writing here will help you a lot to understand the concepts here. If you are understanding these all things in a proper manner, in the proper way, you will means like anything you will understand the concept, right? Here now, just understand things here. Let's say I am writing a class called as 10, JTC 10. This is the class I have written. Guys, in between that, if you are getting any questions, any doubts, you can please ask. I am writing here the main of string arg, I will write it here. Is it fine now? So I have written a class called as, what is that class I am writing now? The class what I have written is the JTC 10, and inside that class I am just declaring few of the members here. What is that few of the members I am declaring here now? So well, inside this now I'll do one very simple thing. What is that very first thing which I am going to do now? Accessing the hello dot b I am trying to access here. Let's save this example with the name of JTC 10 dot Java. I am writing it here. This is JTC 10 dot Java I have written inside this. Fine. This is a very simple one. Now, the question number 1 here is when exactly a class is being loaded? When exactly a class is being loaded? The question number 1 is when exactly a class is being loaded. So here you see, just you need to understand, I am accessing the static member of a class with the name of class. I am accessing the static member of a class here. With which name I am accessing? With the name of class I am accessing. This is static member. And well, I am writing, whenever I am writing here the static member of a class, so I'll write here Java C. Which one now? Java C JTC 10 dot Java I am writing inside this. Here you see. Compilation, there is no problem, but again I am trying to run this. So here JTC 10 I am writing. You see the output here. What output did we got? What output am I getting here? See, static block in hello, and what I am getting output is the 20. You are getting is the output. Fine. Now you see. So what we have understood, what I have discussed, what I have explained about this in the previous one, that whenever you are creating, whenever you are accessing any of the static member of a class with the name of class, so first it checks internally whether the class is being loaded or not. At the time of loading the class, first what it is going to do, allocates the memory for static variable, and then it is processing the static block of a class. This is what it is doing. And now you see here again here, and see, At this time only this class is being loaded, and in a very specific form. Your instance variable of a class and instance member of a class is not being processed at all. This is not being done, that is not doing anything here. This is not being processed in all the ways, in all the forms, right? Are you able to see this? Okay. Now I'll do one more thing here. Let me write the same thing again what we have written in the previous one, and I'm writing here. What is that I'm going to write here? The h1 dot, again I'll write here the b. Now you see, again I am accessing a static variable of a class with the reference variable h1. Now, what I have told just now? I have told that a static member of a class can be processed only once. The static member of a class can be processed only once, as I told you, right? So here, static member means static block also comes under the static member itself. And this static block, how many times it is going to be processed? Can you tell me the output before compilation of this program when I have accessed it? Can you please tell me the output, all of you? Can you please tell me what output you are expecting for this above code what I have written? Anyone, any questions, any doubts in this? Okay, no answers. What output will be there? Let me compile it here. Means I mean to ask is whether static block of a class will be processed more than once, as the number of times we have accessed the static variable of a class, that many number of times it is going to process, or only once it is going to process? No idea. Well, so here I'll do one thing. I'm compiling this program. When I'm compiling this program here, you see the what output we are going to get here. Have a look on this output, 2020. What I have shown to you here is the 2020 output. What you are getting is basically the SOP statements, you are printing it, but this static block is being processed only once. This static block is being processed only once. More than once this static block is not going to be processed. It is not being processed even. More than once this static block which is there is not being processed at all. Are you getting it? This static block, whatever we have at present, is not being processed more than once. And since it is not being processed, so have a look on the output here. Here you see what I am doing. System.out.println as I am doing, h1.b I will write it here. Println, you see here now inside. Okay, let me do one more thing here. Is there any instance block is been processed? No, no instance block processing, nothing like that. So, well, I'll write here hello of h2 is equal to new hello. I'm creating the object of a class, and see, whenever you are creating the object of a class and any one of these tasks whatever you have just now done here, any one of these tasks whatever you have performed here, whatever you have written here, any one of the tasks whatever you are performing here, if you are doing it, so before taking any action on these tasks, before performing this task, it will check internally. What it is going to check internally? Whether that corresponding class is been loaded or not, whether that class which is there has been loaded or not. That is a very important thing, and that is the first thing what it is going to do. If it's been loaded in any form, in any ways, there are again the different ways are also there available by using which we can load the class. Fine. So if any ways are there to load the class, or if in any ways it's been loaded already, then it is not going to load again, and that's the proof I am giving here. See, I have created the object of a class. With this, well, I am accessing here println, and as I told you, h2.b I have accessed. Are you getting my point? h2.b I am accessing here, and whenever I am accessing, whenever as I'm writing h2.b inside this, right, it is So h2.b, whatever you are writing here. So let me compile this program here. I am compiling this program. See here. And as such, whenever as such I have compiled this program, see, important thing is that the instance block also you have got here. Why you have got the instance block? As I have already told that an instance member of a class will be processed only when you are creating an object of a class. Number of times you are creating the object of a class, that many number of times that instance variable of a class, instance member of a class will be processed. What is the proof here? You see, number of times you have done the n number of things, but in all the forms, the static block of a class is being processed only once. The static block which is there here is being processed only once. This is the static block of a static block which is being processed. Now, if I'll create once again, hello of h3 is equal to new of hello I have created here. See, I have created this class object, fine. So when I am creating the object of this class here, so in this case here, in this case, two objects I have created for this class, fine. And whenever as such I am creating these two different objects here, whenever as such I am creating here the two different objects, so again what you have to understand here in this is the very important thing you should understand in this. What is that? In this particular one, how many number of times this is going to be processed? How many number of times this is going to be processed? This also you should monitor it here, right? So see, I have created two objects. Now you see, if I have created two objects, then what is going to see? This instance block is being processed twice. If you will create n number of objects, then the instance block of a class will be processed n number of times here, right? It is. So hope you are getting the clear idea here. Fine, it is. Now one more question here, a very simple and important questions we are having here. The important question is what? See, understand it here. What is the important question here now? I am asking one question. Okay, so is that first this point what I have just now explained, is it clear? Vinod Kumar, this is not the second class. We have covered number of classes, Vinod, and this is not exactly the second class. In the playlist, if you will go on the same channel, you will get all the previous classes. You can watch through, you can go through all the previous classes and then you can watch all this sort of things. And as such, in the OOPS, it is just started, so you will understand these all concepts properly also. There is such no problem again in these cases. Fine, it is? Okay. So, just now whatever as such I have explained, is it clear to you all? Are you all okay with the previous concepts just now whatever I have explained about the instance variable, number of times how it is being processed, static variable how it is being processed, and all other sort of things. So if any questions is there related to that, you can ask. If you don't have any questions, so now I have one more question to ask with you. So that's the one which I am asking. Is it okay? Shall I ask one question? Okay. Well, I'll ask here. See, first thing here is, I'll write one. Guys, you can like the videos, you can share it, because till the time you are not sharing it, as I have told you already, the more you share it, more you like it, subscribe it and share with your friends, will get more number of live watching, and we will also get more interest into this, right? So please share it and subscribe it and like the videos. And one dislike also I have in this, so I don't know what he is not liking into that. Anyways, it is your choice whether you click on the like or dislike it, right? No issues. Oh, okay. So, okay, anything which you have any doubt in this till now, whatever as such I have discussed here? Anything? Any doubt, any questions, any sort of things which you are getting, you can please ask. No questions, fine. Well, I'll do one more thing here. I'm writing a very simple thing here. A class I am writing, see here, class, the name of the class, what you are declaring here. I have written one name of the class. Can I write it? Well, after writing this class, I'll write here int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to 20. I'll make it here as an static one. Fine, it is. These two variables as such I have declared here. Fine. Now here one instance block I have declared and one more, which is the static block I have. So one I have as an instance block, second one what I have is the static block. These two things we are having. Now if I want to access SOP of A here inside this and SOP of B, at the same time now if I am accessing SOP of A and SOP of B, can you tell me we can access it or not? Can you please tell me the output of this, what output you are going to get in these cases? Any expected, like you can write it in the comment box also if later on you are watching. If you are not watching live, you are watching some later on. So that also you can write it in the comment box and all other sort of things. Fine guys? Okay. What is that now here? See. Can we access this A here or not? Can we access it or not? Yes, we can access it. Can we access the B, which is a static variable? So can we access this static variable inside the instance block? Yes, we can access this also. There is no problem at all in this. But at the same time now, you are accessing here A as well as the B whenever you are accessing these two variables, whenever you are accessing A and the B, whichever I am writing here, I am accessing it inside this. So see, we cannot access A. We cannot access A here, which means directly instance property of a class cannot be accessed here. Directly we cannot access inside the static context. Whereas this static variable B can be accessed inside this static context. This B, which is their static variable, this can be easily accessed over here, right? So any questions, any problems, any doubts in this, you can please ask. If any sort of questions, any doubts you are getting, you can please ask in this. Is it clear now? Now the question is here, I have a very specific question to you all, that guys, why? What is the reason that this A cannot be accessed directly over here? Can you please tell me? Because see, yes, any answers? This cannot be accessed because whenever this static block is being processed, just now we have seen it in the past. Whenever this static block is being processed, at that time, the memory for A has not been allocated at that time. And if the memory for A, because this is going to be processed at the time of class loading, it will be processed static block processing at loading time. Are you getting my point? This is being processed at the time of class loading time. And memory for this variable A, which is there, has been allocated. When it's been allocated? It's been allocated at the time of object creation. So this will get memory at object creation time inside this here. So guys, if you are just aware with this, the concepts which I have explained to you all is going to be more than sufficient for you. And again, there are again number of things could be discussed inside that. There could be n number of questions inside this. So now if you have any questions, friends, you can please ask. If any sort of questions, any doubts you have, you can please ask. First, let me know, are you enjoying the class of this Java live classes? Are you people are enjoying this class or not? Are you getting some convenient feeling like in sitting in home attending the classes as same like the classroom? Is it like that? Anything different from the classroom training what we are doing generally? You guys are coming, going, means generally see classroom training is okay, different thing. But again, in this also, we all are easily able to connect with each other, mostly, hope so. And it is a very kind of convenient one, right? That as same whatever is going in the class, same thing is going over here also. Just there is no traveling cost, sitting in your home and attending the class, sitting properly in our home itself. Correct it is or not? So guys, any questions you are getting in this, you can please ask. And again, I'll tell you, aptitude classes is going on from evening 6 o'clock to 7:30, and those who are the freshers just in college or just passed out from the college, you all should attend that class. And in that class, because that will again give you lots of benefits when you're going for any interview and all other sort. Because everywhere mostly you will see the first round is what? Your aptitude itself, right? So try to attend that class also. Okay, in this class, if you because see, and inside this there are again number of things, number of points to be discussed. If you have any questions in this, if you are getting any doubts, all these sort of things, you can please ask. No questions? Okay friends, so good night to all of you, and thank you for coming to the class. Subscribe it, like it, share it, and refer to your friends. Thank you guys. Thank you. Good night.